Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News. It's me and Randy tonight with Justice for All. And oh no, oh left soul, boy, you might have to look at that. Oh boy.
I can't
I'm
read
not
the
even gonna read it,
screen.
Randy. I don't know. I think it's obscene. I think he did a typo there. Huh.
Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, what
So
do you
I
think?
want you all to subscribe to this show and follow us on Facebook. Tonight it's Justice for All, and I want to start with um, boy, I got my tabs going up and down, up and down. Now this is a New Hampshire, Northampton chief. That's the police chief leaves after an investigation into questioning arrest, and it's being nice. This is bad for the arrest on Damian Fisher, who wrote this for the New Hampshire Journal. Now, a woman was busted for drinking a few beers watching sports. She was watching baseball in her own house. And to a 67-year-old woman, um, that all of a sudden someone crashed into the bushes in front of her house. So the police come up and say, your bushes are damaged. And she said, okay, well, everybody okay? Yeah. Well, ma'am, you smell a little bit like alcohol. I think we need to check you out. So they get in there and find out she was pretty much lit watching the baseball game, had quite a few beers. They notice her house is looking dirty, Randy. So they start taking pictures of her
Yeah.
house.
Invasion
when
of
is
privacy.
when is having a dirty house? And she said, I haven't cleaned it for a year. I've been drinking and watching ball games. And she said, I had just gotten around to it. So they took a lot of pictures. And so they were going to charge her. And she went to court. And she's looking at the judge going, I didn't go outside my house. And the police said she might have. She might have gotten in her car and went to the police station because they asked her to go there. Well, she would have to drive. Well, no, she wanted to finish watching the game. So
Oh,
the judge pretty much threw this all out. We have a hi William and hi Miss Randy. Um,
hi. Hello, everyone.
so
I'm so sorry that you're just looking at my little screenshot of me. But hi to everyone. I can't see the chat either, so don't say
yeah,
anything too bad about me. Don't come for me too hard.
and we're still on a ban with the Investigator News 2. We got till the middle of July. We're saying the truth in news, and they don't like the truth. All right, Randy, so what you got with this baseball thing?
So this is mine. I do not have children, and I don't have the opportunity to go to Little League games. So bear with me because this was surprising to me. But my source is mystateline.com put out this article that the umpires during a Little League game got justice because the parents came after the umpires so hard during a game because of a ball was in play when it wasn't supposed to be in play, and I don't understand baseball a lot. LA, can you help me? um, I guess the sign for a ball, wait a minute, don't put that ball in play, is both of the umpires raised their hands up in the air. And so that's what they were doing. For some reason, they said, no ball in play, no ball right now. The pitcher didn't see them for some reason, and he pitched the ball anyway. The little kid that is at didn't see him either. And so he just thinks he's playing ball. So he hits a double, and
a double means second base.
Okay.
So he made the second base.
I'm not kidding when I said I don't know a lot about baseball. But what was so shocking to me was the way these parents acted. It was insane. They were.
Now, Randy, I'm going to tell you, I told you before the show, parents are horrible at these Little League games. They're not the same during college, nor are they the same when you go to a pro ball. When you talk about Little League and you're picking on their kid, and okay, so the kid made a double. Oh, no, 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 on the other side. Oh, no, no, no. That kid is not going to get to second base. The ball wasn't in play. That's what the referees, and that's what we're going to stick to. And I told Randy before the show, they will throw stuff at other parents. They will go after the umpires. They will throw gear. They throw ice chests. They throw cans of what they're drinking. They are hostile at these games. Now, some of them aren't that bad. Some of them are they'll agree with the ruling. So go ahead and go on. So I just want
to. The umpire stopped everything and said, whoa, wait, that ball was not in play. The ball wasn't in play. So now let's put the ball in play. Little boy, come back over here and let's do like a redo. We get a redo. But the redo wasn't as good. He didn't make it to second base. He didn't make it anywhere. He struck out. That's when mayhem broke loose because the parents just absolutely lost their minds. And just like Ellie said, they started throwing things, verbally abusing the umpires to the point, I mean, they were cursing. And not all the parents. I mean, some parents that were appalled at the other parents saying, don't say that. Don't scream that in front of children. That's horrible. Don't do that. And it just went on and on until they finally just called the game. Apparently, it is tradition. Now, this is a sanctioned Little League game by the Little League Society, sanctioning body, however you want to say it. They do a handshake line at the end where everybody goes through and shakes everybody's hand. And as the parents were going through and they got to the umpires, they were so abusive and so horrible. One of the parents that was upset with the other parents said, you know what, we ought to just call the cop on you. We ought to just call the cops on you guys. You're acting just terrible. This should not be happening in front of our kids. And one of the umpires says, well, guess what? I am a cop. Justice right there.
Yeah.
I know parents didn't know what to say.
Karen
what do you think about them apples?
Karen's father used to be a Little League baseball umpire, and the ump will never change his call, so the umpire is always right. Now, the kids should know that they have to go. That's why the umpire is behind the hitter, and when and then you have your catcher, then you got the umpire. And this is something I didn't tell you on the phone, Randy. So the pitcher has to not only look at the catcher, but has to look at the umpire when to throw the ball. When it's all clear, he gives them an all clear sign. Am I right, Karen? And so then he pitches the ball. Then the ball is actually a legal play. So see, when that kid made it to second base by baseball laws or policies, then the ball actually was not in play. So the umpire was right.
That's what I was gleaning from this article. And I thought, okay, I'm following this. But I will admit, guys, I just don't know enough about baseball.
Well,
I
that's
was
why me and
telling
you,
Ellie, it's like me explaining drag racing and motorsports to somebody who has
me,
never been to one.
me, I'm like, I'm lost. I'm good at watching the funny cars go down the track, and then that's it.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
the old dragsters with when people used to beef up their cars and go race them on the track for, little say, hey, I challenge you. Well, my car's faster than your car. Let's take it to Sacramento Raceway. And Sundays
yeah.
they would, and they would run race after race after race until 6, 7 o'clock, when they would finally, when there was no more racers. So, but now this, the kids are better than the parents. Yeah, Karen, you should know how many times did your dad be attacked by parents, because the parents are horrible. I mean, my son played, and I was telling Randy that there was a city council and mayor that their kids were all catchers, pitchers, first, second, and third baseman. They had the key spots. My son could hit either way, right or left. He could catch a ball right or left. So if he seen it and it was easier to catch with the right, he would. If he could catch with the left, he'd switch. And he never could make it up in rank. And yeah, I wasn't like one of them parents. I didn't throw stuff. I just kept asking the coach, why aren't you utilizing him? And when they put him in as a pitcher, all of the parents on the team, on our team, threw a fit. Yeah, so
Wow.
that really tells you. All right, so I want to go on to this next one.
Yeah.
This is, the government can often be so big and lumbering that they don't know what themselves are doing, and occasionally you'll see things happen where one group or department inside the department don't even know what they're doing. And this is what happened with this lady. She was this is in Texas. This is a teacher that put money aside year after year after year to buy a home that she could fix up. But she wanted to save enough she could buy an old home, fix it up to make it beautiful. And she finally was able to do it. And she bought a home auction from the city auction. So now understand, the city, when, let's say, this house went into foreclosure, the city takes over. The city will put it up for auction, but after so long, it will demolish the house. So um, the woman spent 6 years saving up, and I feel for her. And the story goes into how she labored, and she worked as a teacher, and she saved every nickel. I don't really want to get in there, but she bought the house for $57,000, and it was in a Pleasantville, and this is northeast Houston. Um,
Wow. How ironic is that?
and so she saw the
Pleasantville.
house was listed at tax auction. So she drove in, she looked at the house, she seen it was salvageable. I mean, it's not something that, it was a house she could move into. She could put her furniture in, it wasn't going to leak, and she could do repairs as she went. Now, so she bought the house for $57,000, and she did a lot of research on it, she said, and she did a cashier's check, and the next day she bought it at auction. And now the legal owner, now there might be some paperwork there, but they should have let her know at signing that there was liens on the property. And more than likely they did. And so she paid for the liens. And so she probably paid, I'm going to say close to $70,000. And so she was all ready, and she won the auction, and the paperwork went through. And so all of a sudden, she found out the house was gone. When she looked at the first time, she was all for it. She went back, and the house was gone. The city crews had demolished this house. So 2 weeks while she was waiting on her title for the house, for everything to finalize, the city went in and demolished.
Wow.
And so she took the city to court. And the thing is she could have went for punitive damages. She really could have, and a lot of people will because of her
Yeah.
hard work for so many years, but she didn't. She went for what she paid, and she went for what it would cost to put a house up. And the city fought her on this and said, well, as it stands, that you should have checked with the city to see if the lien actually had it set for to be demolished. Now, this is what gets me more than anything, Randy. When I
Okay.
went and read the article for this, the city auction and the city that demolishes a house are in the same office.
What? Oh my goodness. We
So
talk about the right hand don't know what the left hand's doing. Oh my gosh. And
that's
that
exactly what I
mayor
said at
should
the
be
beginning
ashamed.
is when two major offices don't um yeah, what, you can't even talk across the aisle there, or across the same um um office space.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you send the smoke signal at
Yeah.
least? I mean, Jesus. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
That says the breakdown of local government too. I'll digress now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to open that can of worms.
Yeah. Oh, well, speaking of can of worms, we got some pasta that look like worms. Oh, this is the next one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This one
Let's
here,
see.
the only reason why I bring this up is because I believe that the cities are doing wasted funds, and they give our mayors, our city councils, and others in place a lot of federal money, but nothing is ever given to cleanup. It's under it. Get this, Randy. It's under infrastructure. And
Ah, wow. I did not
so
know
every
that.
city gets money for infrastructure. The only thing they don't do is, um, they'll clean up our highways. I know you see the clean highways and you see the crews out there clean it up, or somebody will adopt it. But the only thing that's not adoptable or set for the city or the state to clean up is under bridges. So there was a lady, and she is anonymous. She says she is a woman. She has let the news media know that she is the culprit for this. Well, she found a bridge close to her house that was filling up with garbage. Everybody throws their stuff off a bridge, and it was a buildup of a lot of garbage. And she said there was at least, Randy, when I read it, it was 15 bags of garbage plus everything
That's
laying
a
around.
lot.
So what she decided to do was she took pasta, and some of it was raw, some of it was cooked, and she took out 4 wheelbarrows of noodles at ramen, macaroni. It was all kinds, spaghetti noodles, anything fat, egg noodles, and they gathered it all up, and they took it out and they dumped it over all this garbage. Well, everybody was, why is this noodles at the bottom of this bridge? Someone needs to do something. Everybody started calling the city. So the city went out, and not only did they clean up the noodles, but they cleaned up the garbage. And now they want to prosecute whoever this is. They're going to go after them, prosecute them for pouring noodles over garbage. Now, for one, the animals will eat it. It's not like that wouldn't have been eventually eaten by bugs and, insects, scavengers, raccoons, possums, who knows what's in the area.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would have been free food for them. But the thing is she wanted to make the point, and the economist, and this is where I agree with them, or the ecologist, I'm sorry, stepped in and said, they totally missed the point. The point is that nobody is cleaning up the garbage, and it's building up, and it's right. Usually, when there's a bridge, there's water. When there's water, the garbage is going into the ecosystem. And so they said there was a gentleman, one neighbor turned in her friend next door. Get this lady had lived there for 50 years next to this woman that had a bunch of pasta. And her son was unloading his car up with lots and lots and lots of pasta that came out of the house. So they sent investigators to look at him. And they haven't said there's nobody that's been arrested yet, but this person keeps coming out to the media, and they said it's a woman's voice. She don't stay on long enough to say, why can't the feds and infrastructure pay for the cleanup of underneath the bridges? And she said she might do this again, but she's worried she might get caught. So, um, um,
Grace.
well, um, now, Susan, I mean, you have to look at the whole point of the story. Um, there was four wheelbarrows, and what they did is the city went out there and they cleaned it up for the complaints and the garbage. So when they were done, it was very clean, and the pasta wasn't getting into any of the waterways. It was just over the garbage. And so, how do we get the city? Because she had complained, according to the article, she had complained for 4 years, quite a few times a month. Why aren't you cleaning underneath this bridge? It's getting really bad, and it smells when you drive over. And they wouldn't do it. They didn't have the funding, they said, to clean up underneath the bridges. And I've seen it here. Like my property, I went up and I cleaned up a whole garbage bag full of cans and garbage of people just throwing it at the edge of our property. You know,
Yeah,
and this is way out in the middle of nowhere. It kind of leads
yeah.
back into a subdivision, but why are they throwing garbage on my property that I have to clean up? Um,
Yeah, people just don't care anymore.
yeah.
They just really don't, and it's showing. It's the same
Hmm.
thing for me out here, Ellie. And this is like the perfect place out here in Hooterville, Mayberry, because it's so rural that
Hmm.
people who cannot afford, because it is expensive, trash pickup here,
Hmm.
they just will dump it. They'll
Well,
just go, oh, let's go to Indian Creek and we're just going to dump it off, just throw it off the bridge.
now
Just
the
back the
other
truck
thing
up
that
and throw it out.
was brought up by this woman is we are now looking at a rat issue in New York, and it's due to people that can't afford to pay their trash. Shouldn't, and they're saying, shouldn't the state or the city pay for trash pickup for those that can't afford it, or should they just automatically do this to keep it from? Um, but then you look at the cost of the landfills, and it's just not going to work. And I hate to tell this woman that we have to charge people, but she's got a point of the underneath these bridges, that this could open it up for when they have people work along the freeways. It's normally prisoners or jailers or those in jail, to go down. Who cares? Have a few cops go down and watch them as they clean up under the bridges. What's the problem with that? But they're not.
Exactly.
So I
Exactly.
think this
That'd
is
be something
something
good.
that I think they're going to address in the future. Um, all right, Randy, what's your
Yeah.
next one?
Oh, okay. I'm going to put a disclaimer on this one, everybody. So don't any of you kiddos out there go and do this, because I am not endorsing this. But I just was so surprised by it that I just had to tell y'all about it. And that is that a man from Raleigh, and I am assuming this is North Carolina, although the state was not identified, was getting $500 worth of tickets a month in his mail because they were trying to tell him that he was not paying for toll booths, that he was running the toll booths. He said, I don't even use a toll booth road. That's not me. You got mistaken identity. Well, what it is someone saw his license plate, and it's a vanity plate, and it was called I Remodel. And, of course, he had it abbreviated down to where you could tell that's what it is. Drives a white Chevy pickup truck, and that license plate was right in the middle of the bumper of the truck. So what you can do is you can go online. You can even do this on Amazon and buy license plates. You can have anything that you want put on a license plate, and it looks real, and stick it on your car. So that's exactly what this person did. They saw his vehicle and said, I think I'm going to copy that, and I'm not paying for tolls anymore. So he has to get an attorney. They have to get pictures, and I guess the pictures from the security footage. This is so shocking to me. I can't believe you could do this. And they can clearly see that it's a little Jeep, and the license plate is the same. It says the same thing, but the license plate is on the left-hand side of the front bumper. And so they call the DMV. Listen to this, guys. The DMV doesn't even want to help. Can you believe that? And they're the one that puts out the license plates. They did, however, verify that it was John Doe, blah, 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 with a 2000 whatever, Chevy pickup truck that's white. His justice came when they did find, finally, who did it by just trying to figure out what time of day is this happening. What is there a pattern here?
Mm-hmm.
And where I got this from was WTVAD, something like that, news. They were warning to look out for, if you have vanity plates, look out for people scamming your license plate.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Who would think that you can go? I mean, after all the stuff that we have to worry about in the world today.
Well, you know what? The other thing they do.
License plates?
Another thing they do, Randy, is you're at the supermarket, and they'll go up and they'll steal your tags, your registration tags, and put it on their car. Because they're not. Yeah. We've had it happen to us, and we went back in. They said, well, we had to pay a small fee, but we had to get more stickers because someone stole them. You see, that way they don't have to pay for registration. They got the current year.
Wow. No, I didn't know that this is a thing. I had no idea, and I didn't know that it was so easy to do this. There's sites online. I'm not endorsing this. Don't. This is not sponsored. to do this, this is a disclaimer right here. I do not
Did
approve
you
of this.
yeah, I hate to get way off basis. I know you've seen it, that the cars that were done up in Michigan, and what had happened, they were stolen one or two at a time from the assembly line, where they pull them out and then they park them, they keep the keys in them. So these people jump the fences. They'll use one to ram the fence to get out. They'll steal one or two cars at a time. And then they go back and they keep doing this. Well, they found these cars in Arizona and they were considered stolen. So, and these were cars that were at dealers, that were given to dealers or traded in as new cars. And then people buy them, and then all of a sudden the cops pulls them over and saying, "You're in a stolen vehicle," and they lose their car.
Wow.
Who do they sue?
I would think the original thief who was taking them from
They don't know who it
Detroit.
is. They haven't. I don't think they've caught anybody yet. I haven't watched the whole thing, and I haven't really read the whole article on it. And it was one I almost picked for tonight, but it was really long. It was. I mean, the article was 3 pages long, and I was like, well, maybe I could shorten it down. But you're talking about this scam. So this is happening, and they're F-150 trucks, and
Yeah,
I know you've seen it, and so
yeah.
now they're telling people don't buy an F-150 until they can find out which ones are stolen, because once it's sold to the dealership and the dealership hits you up, it's a loss. More than likely, they say you have to go to your insurance to cover your car.
Wow. Those Ford F-150s too are so popular because they have such a strong engine. I'm a Chevy person, but we all that race cars buy the Ford trucks
Hmm.
because we just have to admit the undercarriage is stronger, the engine is
Hmm.
stronger, the towing capacity and capability is so much better than a Chevy. It's unreal. So
Yeah.
no wonder that these F-150s are so popular and people are dying to get their hands on them. I mean, we can't even keep them here, and
Well, they
you
better
believe
watch
out here in
out,
Hooterville,
because they're talking. There's thousands of them out there now.
yeah,
So
golly,
I,
that
I was looking at them and I was like, and then I heard the story and I was like, well, my luck, I'm gonna buy the stolen one, and then I'm gonna have to, you know, I'll pay, 60, 70,000. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get my money back, because the dealer ain't gonna give me the
wow,
money for it, because they were took too. They're gonna have to wait till they get the money back on their stuff for me to be able to file a claim to get it from them, for my insurance, like, to get a claim to give it to me. And I mean, this is, boy, someone figured out a scam on that. I'm thinking
you
it's
know
someone
what?
that's making them cars.
I worry about this too. Is cars that have been through the hurricanes and the floods recently down south, and then they get them fixed up partially and are bringing them up here to us and selling them.
Yep.
And you
Oh,
don't
they
know
do
that
that
it's a
all the
flood
time.
car.
Oh man, they've been doing that for a long time. They've been, during Katrina, they did a bunch of them, and Arkansas bought a bunch of them. And they started realizing these were flood cars, and they shut down. I'm going to say dozens of used car lots here, and saying don't buy them, don't buy it, don't. And I think that's kind of when kind of like Carfax came out, and they started listing these flooded cars in these areas. um, you have to be so careful. I
Well,
mean, even the tags being taken. Karen said PA doesn't use the stickers on the license plates anymore. Now, briefly, the I-95 collapsed. I think William's doing his show on that tonight. But then we had a sinkhole um, in Florida. Do you know the weather is causing a lot of havoc? And we look at the flood cars, and we haven't even got into hurricane season for the flood cars to hit up north, or even they push them to California. So, I want to get on
What?
this. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking, I've seen sinkholes when I lived down in Florida. That's scary.
Well,
Whoa.
they're finding out that it's so much, and I was talking to William about this earlier. There's so much sand that goes down, and it goes to I think William explained it to me like a hard pan. And after that, what they're finding below it is sand. So if you drill, like the sinkhole, I believe they it hit the hard pan, sunk, went through it, and then below it was sand, so it caused the whole thing. It's right next to houses, but how many sinkholes do they not? They said you can't be guaranteed there's hard pan there or clay. So how much of Florida is on sand?
All of it.
We got sand here. We were told the house I just bought. We were told it was all sand, and there's a possibility we could flood. And I thought, we're in a floodplain? Well, on certain years. And I was like, so it's more on certain years? Well, what happens if you don't plan on a flash flood and I don't, it's not that year? I said, shouldn't you be offering it to me every year? And they can with your insurance. But even here in Arkansas, my property's on sand. Yeah, what's that? I mean, people don't know that. So all of
Uh,
these, all and they're supposed to. This is what me and William talked about. Was when you buy property and or they go to put, let's say, in a subdivision, they're supposed to look to see what everything's on what it's there, what stabilizes it before you put houses on there. But how many people are just greedy that's just going to put it up there? And what about the house that went through the sinkhole? The whole house, boom.
yeah, yeah. I remember when that happened. I mean, this really did happen down there in Florida. The guy
Yeah.
got out just barely. He was in bed sleeping because he worked at night, and he heard something that was like an earthquake, and
Hmm.
it was his house sinking. He
Yeah.
runs outside, grabs his pet, runs outside, and watches his house, half of it, just go down. Somebody got out there, one of the neighbors with a cell phone, and actually filmed it. And it is on YouTube somewhere, and it's hard for me to watch because I just feel so bad for the
But
guy.
you quit hearing about it. You never hear about what's happening with the sinkholes. There's even one down in Louisiana that is so big that it's twice the size of some of their lakes. And I didn't know about it until the Gator guys,
Wow.
Troy Landry,
Yeah.
he went into an area that's right on the verge to get the alligators. And he was like, you could see the water swirling. And he's like, we got to get out of here. And he said, all this area is fixing to go under. And it was just sucking trees. You could watch it suck trees.
Oh
And
my gosh.
so we're seeing these sinkholes all along I mean, not even in Florida, but we're even seeing it down on the islands too, where it's just sand. And what did Dubai build their stuff on? Sand. Ugh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's
The
get on
world.
to this last story, Randy.
Okay.
And this one's pretty
Sorry.
good because this is a guy. Okay, so it's a clip that he put on TikTok, and it shows him in his sunglasses, and he's sporting this hellion type of car, and he jumps out, and he appears. There appears to be a black bear, so his friend's filming this, and he's sprinting across, like merrily, he says, and he's runs up, and let's see, he gets out, and he runs at the critter while howling grunting like a gorilla, causing the startled animal to flee to the forest. But he chases him
Oh my God. Don't
and
chase
he
bears.
rips his shirt off and he chases them shirtless, growling and grunting. And oh, no wonder the bear ran.
My
He
gosh.
throws
Not
his
only don't feed
sunglasses.
the bears, don't chase them.
Um,
Jeez.
and so they hit him up with a $5,000 fine. And he's like, well, wait a minute.
Woo.
The bear could have attacked me. Okay. Now, and so I thought, okay, this is kind of, Randy goes, well, this isn't one for us. I said, no, wait a minute now, because there are dozens, three, 4 dozen lawsuits against Yellowstone and the government, in the state, the federal being a federal park and the state being a park, that people are suing um, Yellowstone because the animals are attacking them, and if they're so dangerous, put them behind a fence.
That's what scares me. And I didn't know that, Ellie, whenever you was telling me. And I thought, well, that's not injustice for all. It'd be justice for the animals, maybe. I just am afraid, and I told you this on the phone earlier. You know what I'm scared of is this happening so much that they're just going to close the parks to public.
That's, you see, when you said that to me, that made, that's the first thing I thought of is um, dummies. Now, and I said, how stupid could someone be to go up and want a petted bison? Ellie was a dummy at 20. I they were just roaming around. To me, it looked like big cows. I was going to go out and pet them, but the look in the bison's eyes and the way it snorted and like scratched the ground. I said, "Oh, no, 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 no! I'm in nice, nice, nice buffalo, nice Tatanka." you
Yeah,
know,
oh my gosh.
dances with wolves. No, Tatanka, don't, no, no, no. I'm nice. I was going to give you. Well, I don't even remember what I had to give him. I was had crackers or something. But I backed up and I gave him his space. But we have got so many lawsuits now against against Yellowstone, the federal government. And like you said, this is a beautiful park. I mean, I've been there and it is amazing. Old Faithful and some of the um, seeing some of the
The
volcano.
geysers.
Oh yeah, the Old Faithful's a geyser, and
Oh, okay.
they have like quite a few, and they say it'll go off about, let's say, 2 o'clock. So you sit there for an hour, you're going, all right, geyser, well, let's go watch Old Faithful, because Old Faithful, we know he's going to blow. So you go and it says 12, 3 or 4 o'clock, Old Faithful, right on time. The other ones you just kind of, it's a hit and miss, but they have got these bubbling clay looking, it's weird. And then you got these steam fissures to where they're hot, and you almost like feel like, how dangerous is this? And I kept looking at my folks going, do you realize that this is one big volcanic hole we're walking through? Oh, it'll be all right, Mom says. It's Yellowstone. Yogi belongs here. Okay, Yogi the bear.
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah.
and
Oh, just my luck, and that'd be right the time I stepped on it
and
going, oh, look at this. And that's my last word.
yeah, and so the justice, it isn't going to be in our favor. The justice is going to be so many lawsuits and so many lawyers fighting for these clients saying, we need fences up for these animals. How do you fence Yellowstone? I don't know if Randy, it's huge. It's that
It's not fair to the
it's
animals.
not. They are
It's their
so out there. I mean, you from the north entrance to the south entrance to onward and into the wilderness where you can see the waterfalls. It's thousands of acres. I mean, how do you? how do you detain a bear that's,
I know.
I mean, they may
They
be in
do
the
cage
park.
them.
Yeah, I mean, you might be able to cage the park, but how many people are going to want to come and go, oh, if we cage the people? Because that's the only logical idea solution is to cage the people in, not not the animals, the people.
I know, and you know what is bad out there towards Yellowstone? I just thought of this. Forgot all about it till you started saying fencing and caging. There are hunting lodges out there
Hmm.
that are thousands or hundreds at least of acres that are fenced in so that you don't miss a shot.
Hmm.
You don't miss your
Oh yeah,
trophy
there's
because your trophy can't
um,
freaking get away.
the boy,
Makes me
we
to
might
want to
we
throw
might
up.
go a full hour on this show today. You know what gets me, and this is has nothing to do with Yellowstone, is I hunt, um, and sometimes you'll see where you can go down to Texas, and they got this whole um, hunting reserve that they've got it caged off to where you can hunt animals that are in Africa, elephants, tigers.
Oh,
Yeah, you know what? Those just make me sick. They just, as a hunter, though, and I've talked to other hunters, and they just shake their heads, going, "That's not right." You know, if people really want to go hunting, then pay to go to Africa and pay to do it for an animal that's threatening somebody, not not caging and bringing these animals in. This is just sick. So anyway, Randy, we have got to close the show, and boy, did it go quick, huh?
that went very quick. I didn't even realize what time it
Hmm.
was. Oh my! But I had fun.
Oh
I hope
yeah,
y'all learned something from us.
and I hope you all come back next week, another Monday for Justice for All, where we have many different cases that are that have been in the court or in the courts that um, people do see justice, and we're hoping we're showing it to you. Even governors. There was one I would have done tonight that a governor couldn't even get past a judge, and he still had to pay. So, all right, Randy, I thank you for hosting with me tonight. And we got William coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me. I love doing these shows with you. And everybody hit the like button, subscribe, share, because it helps the algorithm. And
Hmm.
everybody just have a wonderful evening. God bless.
Yes, and we'll see you. I'll be with William. I'll be off in the corner running all the equipment, and William will have the next show for William's show. If and come on back tomorrow, and I will do news and weather and lifestyle news. So subscribe and follow us, and we'll see you soon.
Bye bye.